بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. عن أبي خالد حكيم بن حزام رضي الله عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: البيعان بالخيار ما لم يتفرقا فإن صدقا وبينا بورك لهما في بيعهما وإن كذبا وكتما محقت بركة بيعهما متفق عليه. The hadith, and this is the final hadith in the chapter of as-Sidq, the chapter of truthfulness, is reported by Abu Khalid Hakim ibn Hizam radiyallahu anh, who said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Al-Bayyi'ani bil-Khiyari ma lam yatafarraqa, that the two parties in a transaction, the buyer and the seller, the two that are in a transaction with one another, they are bil-Khiyar, which means they have a choice in the matter. They have a choice either to go through with the transaction or to cancel the transaction. مَا لَمْ يَتَفَرَّقَا, as long as they have not dispersed, as long as they have not moved away from this gathering of the transaction. Meaning, there's a contract that takes place. Whenever you purchase something, there's a contract. Even if you go to the supermarket, there's a contract. When they are selling something and you are purchasing it, at that moment when you are buying, before you pay, you still have a decision to make. You have a choice, either to leave it or to buy it. This is what the hadith is saying. And the same when two people sell something to each other, or two people go into business with each other, the Prophet ﷺ says, the two parties have a choice, as long as they have not completed the transaction and they have not moved away from each other. Once this has happened, then the transaction is completed. Then the buyer cannot say afterwards, you know what, I changed my mind, give my money back. It's too late. It's too late. At this point, he's gone through the transaction. Once they have left each other and the transaction is completed, then they no longer have a choice. The transaction is completed. But the hadith then says, فَإِن صَدَقَا وَبَيَّنَا. Two things are mentioned. Number one is if they are both truthful. If they are both truthful, meaning the seller, he's truthful with the way he sells. What he is selling, he's not lying about the product. He's not deceiving anybody about the product. And the buyer, what he's paying with is truthful. So both of them enter into the contract being truthful. وَبَيَّنَا, and they are clear, which means they clarify anything that needs to be clarified. So if I'm selling my vehicle and I know that there's a problem with this vehicle, the seller does not see the problem. If I hide that, I conceal that, then I'm not being clear. The hadith is saying you have to be truthful and you have to be clear. So whenever you sell something, even if it's a second-hand item, you have to make sure that you clarify to the seller exactly what you are selling. Any fault that you know of, you have to clarify and say, look, there's a scratch here, there was a small accident, this is a problem with the car. Underneath the vehicle you will see there's a problem over here, there's a problem with the steering rack, whatever it is. If you know about it, you must clarify it. So our fear would be, if I don't do this, if I clarify, I might lose money. Or I might miss out on the deal. The person may not be interested. What does the hadith say? The hadith says, if he's truthful and he clarifies everything, بُورِكَ لَهُمَا فِي بَيْعِهِمَا, both of them will be blessed in the transaction. Allah will put barakah in the transaction. Allah will bless them in this transaction. And the opposite, وَإِن كَذَبَا, if they lie. There's no problem with the car, brother. There's nothing, it's driving perfectly. And I know inside there's this problem and this problem. I'm lying. Oh, katama, or I conceal. I don't mention it at all, but I know it's there. I'm hiding the defects. They do this, muhiqat barakatu bay'ihima. The Prophet ﷺ said, the barakah will be snatched away from their transaction. Barakah will be taken away. So the money that you're earning, you may feel I scored, I made the deal, that money will have no blessings in it. It's not going to benefit you or your family. It may bring harm to you or your family. So remember this, rather be truthful, be clear, and do not conceal anything. Do not lie about anything. Because the barakah will come from Allah Azza wa Jal. He is ultimately our raziq, He is our provider, and He is the one who puts the barakah in our wealth. That's a very important hadith for every person to understand. Any person in business, any person, even if you are selling your own private things, second hand and so forth, remember, be clear about it. Be clear about your work, be clear about every single thing, and Allah will put barakah in this. And the reason the author puts this in this chapter is to show the importance of sidq, to show the importance of being truthful. This will bring barakah into your life. And all types of khair, inshaAllah ta'ala, in this world and the year after. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Allah make us of the Siddiqeen and the Sadiqeen. Put barakah in our lives. Ameen. Wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.